more forceful team. You get fouls drawn and you're at the free throw line a lot more. And I think that's what that was, especially in the fourth quarter and overtime. They were downhill, they were very aggressive, and because of that, they were rewarded free throws.
Go ahead, Joe.
Shay, you guys played them right before the All-Star break and obviously back-to-back coming out of it. What do you make of these kind of series in the middle of the season, facing a team, 3 times in such a condensed period?
Yeah, you try to just do the same thing you do every other night. You just try to get better. You try to, obviously playing them so close together helps with like game planning and stuff. But at the end of the night, you just try to get better. Nothing more than that.
Does it lead to more intensity or competitiveness when you're seeing them, back to back like this?
I don't think so. I think like seeing a team that caliber, seeing a team of that, like obviously they're gonna be in the playoffs. They were top of the standings last year. Like seeing them, you bring the juice regardless when you see them, how many times you see them. So I don't think it adds anything.
Shay, I know it's still fresh, but when you think about the defense in the fourth quarter especially, is there any sequence, or if you look back on it now, if you could go back and change something in the moment, is there anything that stands out to you in that regard?
I mean, there's probably so many plays, like 50-50 balls, rebounding. I don't remember when it was, but I remember like I saw the ball was about to miss, and I tried to go rebound instead of like checking out. And then I don't know if it was Clark or 00. Sorry, I don't know his name. Yeah, Shannon. I think they just like went over my back and got a rebound. And who knows? That could have. I think they hit a 3, so it probably went from like 8 to 5. And if I got the rebound and checked out, it could have been 11 or 10 instead of 5, and maybe we win. But like, there's gonna be so many little plays like that.
Shay, it's not often that you guys have control of a game defensively like that and aren't able to kind of maintain that hold on it. What happened in the second half that felt like they were able to get more loose?
I think we took our foot off the pedal, obviously, defensively especially. Offensively, they were trapping me at half court, and we got a lot of good looks. They just didn't go in. And that's basketball. You make it, you miss. But defense is something we've hung our hat on. And because of our defense, why we were in the position that we were in that game, and we took our foot off the pedal. It's a lesson to learn.
Who else we got?
Oh.
Anybody? Go ahead, Myron.
Yeah, a game like this, anything common between the second quarter last night, fourth quarter tonight, because you lost the lead in the second quarter last night before halftime, then tonight?
Usually when there's big runs like that, it's like the team that's more aggressive, team that's more physical, and team that is getting stops. Like you don't string together a run like that without getting stops, and they did so, and we didn't, and we failed to. And in the second quarter last night and in the fourth tonight was the same thing.
Was that zone any different? I mean, because both nights they threw a lot of zone, of course, trapping you up top and everything.
Yeah, the zone. I think the zone is a little bit. It's like the zone worked better for them last night. I think we figured out we did better against the zone tonight. Now they're trapping at the top and us still getting looks. Like I think offensively we were finding that. Offense wasn't the problem. It was defense late in the game.
Gallo's got another one. Then Joe Masato.
I think they shot 32 free throws in the second half. How much of that did you feel like was, more controllable on y'all's end to defend without putting them on the line like that?
Yeah, usually when you're the most
defense as much, but when you're approaching a zone like this and you're getting doubled, is it really just as simple as hitting the outside and just hoping outside shots fall, which they're sort of forcing, or is there anything else you feel like you guys can do to attack that zone?
Yeah, honestly, I think like Dub had a couple plays where he like just missed layups. Alex Caruso just missed a layup a couple times. Like we had so many plays, not just jump shots, but where we were in the paint and we just missed. And like you don't ever want to rely on jump shooting because it goes up and down so much. And we've worked on that attack so much in the past, and I honestly believe like that wasn't the problem. We had some unlucky bounces, like I said, but when you're out there on the floor, you just got to take accountability and try to get better from them.
You guys have been so good defensively. I know that, that's obviously those moments, those plays, but is there anything in the as it's happening that you can say to each other to try to turn the tide? I mean, sort of the mental side of it almost.
Yeah, you try to get your brain back to, I guess, zero, get your emotions back to zero. I think we didn't have a problem doing that. Like, it didn't get away from us. We didn't unravel. Just some unlucky bounces, unlucky plays. They made shots, we missed shots. But that's a game of basketball, and that's why you try to control the things that you can't control. And when you don't, you leave it up to chance, you leave it up to luck, and you leave it up to things like that. And we did that tonight.
Justin?
You mentioned taking your foot off the gas, but especially out of the gate, seems like you guys are making a lot of hustle plays, winning on the offensive glass. Just can you kind of speak to what the mindset was heading into this one, especially on the second night of a back-to-back?
Yeah, just play to our identity, be aggressive, and then the day get stops, make it tough for them. I think we did that, and then we got away from it, and that's why the night turned the way it did.
Is this one tougher to let go?
Like, it hurts in the moment, but we have however many games left. The 82-game season is an opportunity to get better 82 times, an opportunity to learn, and I'd rather go through being up 16 with 3 minutes left and losing in our 82-game season than in the playoffs. And if this is what it takes for us to learn, this is what it takes for us to learn. So, like, it's a lesson at the end of the night. We'll try to get better from it. It's a game of basketball. It's a game of life.
You mentioned
Mike, you can have the last one.
you mentioned that you guys played well on.
Aside from the result, having a game tip like 19 hours after the previous one ended, can you talk about the physical difficulty that presents?
Yeah, I mean, it's like AAU kind of. Like, you just go back and play night in, night out. It didn't really feel that way. I feel like I've had a little worse back-to-backs. Just from, like, a personal standpoint, I feel like some of my growth is, like, figuring out how to, like, get sleep and recover a little bit faster during some of these games. So my body was actually pretty decent going into this game, but it is some drastic measures. Like, 19 hours is kind of crazy, but both teams had to do it. So I think we kind of cut out some of the excuses there, and we're just ready to play.
Anyone else? Joe, you can have the last one.
Obviously, like, teams have been throwing different coverages at Shea all year. Minnesota in these 2 days have thrown the gauntlet at him. It feels like in those situations where the ball is, like, being stripped from him, not stripped, but it's being taken out of his hands. Do you feel like you're in sort of position to kind of shape those stretches if you wanted to?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like that's how I scored tonight. I got a lot of good looks. He's a willing passer, and he understands that I feel like in order to ease some of that coverage, he has to get off of it, and we have to make plays. And I mean, if we make even a couple shots down the stretch, we probably won't even be having this conversation about the amount of coverages that he had. But yeah, he's been doing the right thing.
Right. Just with that, obviously this is a team we've watched all year that it doesn't feel like you guys have stopped playing, maybe ever, if not very often. Why do you think that was tonight?
I don't know. There's no real reason to it. I mean, if you want, like, a very simple answer, I mean, we're up 25 in a game where we feel like the game's kind of over with, and I think, like, stop playing is probably not a good word, like a way to say it. I think just our intensity dropped, like, started missing coverages a little bit, got spread out a little more than we usually like to, kind of let, like, our personnel slip. Like, that's the kind of, like, little stuff that over the course of, you know, a whole quarter can obviously go awry, and then, like I said, they earned the rest of the win.
Jalen, if you could rewind and do or say something different as that defensive breakdown is happening, what would it have been for you specifically?
I don't know if I would go back in time and change what happened. I think it's kind of good that this happened to us, just from a perspective of being able to learn from it. And I think Shea's kind of spot on with, like, it's better to have it now than later, but I think just being able to nip personnel in the bud, I don't think we did a really good job of that. And I wouldn't say anything about our offense. I thought we generated a lot of good looks that didn't go in, but when your defense is lacking, you know, obviously energy started to shift their way, and that's probably why we didn't make shots. So I would definitely say coming out into that fourth quarter, trying to slam the door right away in that first, like, 3 to 5 minutes and kind of put the game away there.
I'll rephrase. Maybe
They're a good team, so when you give teams like that life, you get punished. And we've done that a couple times this year, but it hasn't burned us, so it's kind of a good thing it burned us tonight, So you got to, take your hat off to them. They kept playing the whole entire time and had a huge comeback win. But yeah, just our defensive intensity sucked, and I thought our offense was actually really good. Like, we just didn't make shots, but those are the games where you need your defense to still be on par, and we just didn't do a good job of it.
Shea was just kind of saying he'd rather have this happen now than happen, 2 months from now. And I want to kind of get your take on maybe the big picture of something like this.
Yeah, no, he's right. A lot of these lessons are about taking accountability, and we didn't play well enough to win the game, and they basically stole a game and earned it. But yeah, that's something that now this will stick out in our mind for, at least for me, I probably won't forget this one for a long time. So it's good that we have this now, and then still have 25 games left, so we can figure it out. And it's the beauty of the NBA. We play so many games. We play in 2 days, so we'll take the lessons from this one and keep it rocking.
Doug, what parts of the defense did you feel slipped in the fourth and on?
If I say defensive intensity, it won't resonate as well, but I think just physicality, they just started lining us up and driving the ball and getting fouls and just, like when you're just going downhill the whole time without any kind of resistance, it's easy to get those put back layups and fouls, and they were just kind of in the teeth of the defense the whole time, and we didn't do a good job of keeping them out the paint, and that's kind of where the game was.
You mentioned that they kept playing, which would imply that you guys sort of stopped playing, I guess.
Stop playing defense. Offense.
maybe not rewind and have a different outcome because of the lessons you learned, but if you find yourself in a situation in the future where you feel like something similar is happening, what do you think you'll do differently next time?
Good question. I think be more vocal about what's going on, what I see in the game, and I think now that we kind of have that feeling, I'll have more of a feel of what to say and more pinpoint accuracy on what's actually going on throughout the game instead of trying to figure it out. So, but just basketball's a team sport, so if I can guard my yard and maybe have some of that energy go to the other players and do that sort of thing, I think that would be kind of how I would help that out.
Dub, you guys have had to play small a lot this year. I mean, the injuries to Chet and Hartenstein, but how different is it in a game like this where the chair sort of pulled on you guys where it's mid-game rather than you know about it going into it?
It's nothing new from what's been happening. Chet's situation was kind of similar in that regard. It's nothing too new. We've been able to adjust all year, been able to adjust since I've been here, so it's nothing crazy new. Obviously, we want those guys out there, but it's nothing we haven't seen or haven't dealt with.